What if the most dangerous decision in your life was staying comfortable? Jeff Bezos had what millions of people dream about. A powerful job. A high salary. A bright future on Wall Street. But then he walked away from all of it. For an idea that sounded crazy in 1994. Selling books on the internet. And that single decision would create Amazon. But here's what most people don't understand. Jeff Bezos did not quit because he was fearless. He quit because he was afraid of something worse. Regret. Section 1, The Safe Life He Walked Away From. Before Amazon, Jeff Bezos was not struggling. He had graduated from Princeton University. Worked in finance and technology. And eventually joined a prestigious investment firm called D.E. Shaw. This was not an ordinary job. D.E. Shaw was one of the smartest, most respected firms in the world. Bezos rose fast. He became one of the youngest senior vice presidents there. Think about that. Young. Highly paid. Respected. On track for an elite future. To most people, this was the dream. And that's exactly why his next move was so shocking. Because when life looks safe, walking away looks irrational. Section 2, The Number That Changed His Life. Then one day, Jeff Bezos came across a statistic that completely changed how he saw the future. The internet was growing at more than 2,000% a year. Not 20%. Not 200%. Over 2,000%. That number hit him like a warning. He realized this was not just a new technology. It was the beginning of a massive shift. And he asked himself a question that changed his life forever. If the internet is growing this fast, what business should exist on it? That question led him to one simple idea. An online bookstore. Why books? Because books had millions of titles. No physical bookstore could hold that much inventory. But the internet could. It was a small idea on the surface. But hidden inside it was the blueprint for something much bigger. Section 3, The Hardest Part, Leaving Certainty. Now here's where the story becomes powerful. Most people think success begins with a great idea. It doesn't. Success often begins with the courage to leave something good for something uncertain. Jeff Bezos knew quitting D.E. Shaw would look crazy. He had status, income, security. And he was leaving all of that for a business that might completely fail. So how did he decide? He used a mental model that would later become famous. The regret minimization framework. He imagined himself at age 80, looking back at his life. And he asked, would I regret trying this? Or would I regret never knowing what could have happened? That question gave him clarity. He realized he could handle failure. But he could not handle spending the rest of his life wondering what would have happened if he had taken the chance. That's when he quit. Not because it was safe. Because staying safe felt more dangerous. Section 4, The Road Trip That Built Amazon. After making the decision, Jeff Bezos and his wife, Mackenzie, left New York and drove across the country to Seattle. And during that road trip, the business was already taking shape. He was writing the business plan on the way. Imagine that. No guarantee. No empire. No proof. Just a car, a long highway. And a belief that the internet would change everything. That road trip matters. Because big success stories often look glamorous later. But in the beginning, they usually look uncertain, messy, and lonely. When they arrived in the Seattle area, they started building the company. Not in a giant office. Not with luxury. In a garage. That's where Amazon began. Amazon was founded in 1994 and launched as an online bookstore in 1995, with Bezos and a small team working out of a garage in Bellevue, Washington. Amazon's own historical recap and Britannica both confirm the garage origin and launch timeline. Section 5, The Garage, the Books, and the Real Struggle. This is another part people romanticize. Started in a garage. It sounds cool now. But back then, it meant discomfort. It meant long hours. Uncertainty. Packing orders manually. Building systems from scratch. Jeff Bezos and his small team were doing the kind of work most successful people are too proud to talk about. Simple desks. Basic tools. Manual effort. No billionaire image. No polished brand. Just obsession. And here's what made Bezos different. He didn't think small. Even when Amazon was just a bookstore. He wasn't thinking like a bookstore owner. He was thinking like a systems builder. Books were not the final destination. Books were the entry point. That's a huge lesson. Sometimes your first move is not your final dream. It's just the smartest door into a much bigger future. Section 6, What most people get wrong about this story. A lot of people tell this story like Jeff Bezos simply got lucky. That's not true. Yes, timing mattered. But this was not blind gambling. It was a calculated risk. He studied the growth of the internet. He chose a product category that made sense online. He picked a location with access to talent and distribution advantages. And he moved early, before everyone else understood what was coming. That is the real lesson. Jeff Bezos did not just follow his passion. He followed evidence. And then he had the courage to act before the rest of the world agreed. That is what separates dreamers from builders. Not just vision. Timing plus action. Jeff Bezos did not quit a safe job because he hated it. He quit because he saw a future. That comfort was hiding from him. That's what makes this story powerful. Sometimes the biggest risk in life is not failing. It's staying in a place that slowly makes you ignore your biggest opportunity. Amazon began as a small online bookstore. But the real beginning happened earlier. The moment one man decided that regret would hurt more than uncertainty. So the next time life offers you comfort, ask yourself one question. Is this safety? Or is this a trap? And sometimes, the life you want is waiting on the other side of one uncomfortable decision. Share this lesson with someone you think needs motivation. Subscribe and earn on notification for the next story which will complement this lesson you have learned.